Welcome to Meet Your Boss Junior. Today I'm speaking with you, Paul Slater, CEO of Billion Minds. First question, you might know I love cars. What's your favorite car?
Hey, Liam, it's really great to be with you. And yes, I do know that you love cars. Well, did you know about me that I was 37 years old when I learned to drive? So, so I haven't driven that many cars, but right now I've got a Tesla Model 3. I love that. It's a black Tesla Model 3. It looks kind of cool. Looks a little bit like, I think looks a little bit like the Knight Rider car, if you've ever seen that. And I think the favorite car that I've ever driven was I had a Mini Cooper convertible that was British Racing Green, and that's my favorite color. So I really, really like that. But the car I really want to drive is a Morgan Plus 6. So I don't know if you've ever seen that, but if you haven't, it's worth looking up. But a Morgan Plus 6 is a beautiful car. I'd love to drive that.
So tell me about what you wanted to be when you were a kid.
Well, when I was about 5 years old, I wanted to be a doctor, actually. So I wanted to be a surgeon. And in fact, I spent all of my time as a kid studying to try to get into medical school to be a surgeon. I got into medical school. And then once I got into medical school, I kind of realized I wasn't that good at it. So I had to go do something else. And so then I shifted and I ended up doing a math degree, got into computers and technology. And then from then, that was kind of my life. I was building software and I was teaching people how to use computers and I was engineering systems and things like that.
I want to hear all about your work, but first tell me your story. How did you get to be a CEO?
So I worked at Microsoft for about 10 years. And about 10 years in, they asked me if I wanted to do something called an internal startup. So an internal startup is kind of unusual. It's like it's your own company, but you don't own it. And it's inside another company and they actually own it. But you behave as though you own it. You basically can run it how you want to, solve whatever problems you want to, things like that. And so we went after a problem in clinical research. We were looking at could we help clinical research be more efficient and more effective. So we spent 2 years working on and solving that problem. And it was myself and my co-founder worked on that. And then about 2 years in, we suddenly became really, really interested in another problem that we wanted to solve. But that problem that we wanted to solve had nothing to do with it. And it was something that we felt that we could only solve outside of Microsoft. So the two of us, my co-founder and I, that were in the internal startup inside Microsoft, we both left and we founded Billion Minds, which is our company now. And I'm the CEO of that company and he is the COO of that company.
Oh, great. So tell me about your company. What is your product and who are your customers?
Well, we make software that helps people develop the skills they need to be productive when every day is different. Every day is crazy. And we sell mostly into businesses because we're helping people develop the skills they need to do it. But actually, we can help anybody who's trying to be really effective in their job every day and really effective outside of their job at the same time. And if anybody wants to sign up, they can go to billionminds.com and they can sign up today.
What do you love most about your job?
That's a good one. There's a lot, so I have to narrow it down to one thing. I would say that it's that I get to solve a really, really important problem. So we have people who tell us every single day that we're helping them switch off from work better at the end of the day. We're helping them get more done in less time so that they can spend time with their family or their friends or do something really fun. And so we all have way, way more to do than we have time to do it in. And if we can help people make the best use of their day every day, that's a lot of fun to be able to solve what is a really difficult problem for a lot of people.
So what do you love? What's the hardest thing about your job?
Well, I think it's probably that we have so many ideas in terms of what we want to do, but we can't do all of them, right? We don't have the time, we don't have the money in order to be able to do all of the things that we want to do. So I think probably the most difficult part of it is deciding what not to do when everything seems so important and such a good idea.
So what's one piece of advice for me as I think about starting my own company?
I would say that it's extremely important to do something that is important. And so what I mean by that is that, you could do pretty much anything, but I think as we sort of go through the next 20, 30 years, it's going to be really, really important that smart kids like you wind up growing up solving really important problems. So yes, do something that you find fun, but more importantly, do something that is important and that will make the world a better place. There's a lot of people who spend their time making apps that fart and things like that, and they're funny, but they don't really do anything to make the world better. And the world has a lot of problems, so we need to solve them.
Looks like that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for coming on this show and sharing your story. Best luck with your future. Bye.
Thank you, Liam. That was great.